I don't really like to jump on trends, but I can't ignore the situation involving a certain musical duo. Everyone is making videos about them, and none of the videos that I've seen are addressing what I think needs to be addressed. If you've watched any music YouTuber over the past few weeks, then you probably know exactly who I'm talking about. They're a group who wears masks with long noses, and they play pretty crazy music.
These guys?
No, it's a drummer and another musician playing really aggressive, unsettling sounding music.
These guys?
No, they're brand new, no one's done this before, and they're all about identity and exploration.
Oh, so it's these guys.
Okay, what about now? Please, you have to know who I am. You've seen them everywhere, they're all over the place.
These guys?
Oh my god, not the wig! I'm talking about this group called Angine de Poitrine. Videos of them have been going so viral that every music YouTuber has been rushing to get copyright claim by them over the past month, while the duo unsuccessfully tries to scrub their true identities from the internet and hide their previous band's music. I know who they are, but I won't say it. Even people who have absolutely nothing to say about Angine de Poitrine are making videos about them, and I gotta say, I have a ton of respect for Rick Beato, but I do think it's a little crazy that someone can just film themselves nodding their head along to music for 9 minutes, saying as little as humanly possible, and still get 3 million views. And if you think I'm here to talk about their pedal board, unfortunately, it's just the pedal board from Animal Crossing connected to a ring mod that's being controlled by 4 different expression pedals. Like, people have asked me to dissect it, and that's all I got for you. I have more of a problem that he's barefoot, you know? I don't like the bare feet on the board. It's gross. The coolest and most mysterious pedal is this. Besides some occasional weird alien sounds, they're not really experimenting with texture, which is fine because it's obviously not what they're interested in. And there's something about Angine de Poitrine that I am very interested in, and it's not what you think. Angine de Poitrine's music is really strange, microtonal, and dense, but a lot of people quickly realize that it's not really anything new.
In a lot of ways, while the music isn't bad, I do see Poitrine as pretty much doing a silly presentation to launder musical ideas that maybe more narrow-minded people wouldn't necessarily be open to in other contexts.
Angine de Poitrine is getting people to engage with music that they otherwise would have ignored, and I want to explain why that's a really good thing. My #1 goal has always been to get the harp out there more, and I wanted to take the harp places it's never been, and my goal has always been to inspire at least one person to start playing the harp. My channel didn't really start growing until I embraced how weird I am, and actually me being weird and showing my true self got more people interested in the harp than anything else I ever did. Many people that are interested in the harp because of my channel are here because of stuff like this. Fuck. And they never would have found me if all I did was just play random songs on the harp. Growing up in the classical harp world, I was discouraged to be myself and be weird, but turns out being weird is what got most people to care about what I do. A lot of the Angine de Poitrine criticism circles around the same idea. Is this just marketing? I don't think it's marketing as much as it is understanding that being genuinely weird is basically a superpower that helps you connect with other people. People often get pulled in by something that makes them feel like they're about to experience something that they don't fully understand yet. And I feel like that's doing more work than any scale or tuning system ever could. You could see this in real time with Angine de Poitrine because over half the people clicking on those videos are not there because they're craving microtonal music. They're there because they saw these 2 people wearing these unsettling masks and they're thinking, what the hell is this? And then they stay. And maybe they don't understand it, and maybe they don't even like it, but they listen to something that they never would have heard otherwise. And maybe they're just there to read all the mean comments. I love it. Have you read the comments?
No.
Oh my god, they're crazy.
Really?
Yeah, you should look sometime because half the people are just so angry. No matter how frustrated you get by weird music or by creatures you don't understand, few things are more frustrating than that robot voice phone menu you gotta deal with when you call a doctor.
To speak to a doctor, press 5. To press 5, press 10.
What does that even mean? And that's where today's sponsor, ZocDoc, can help. I'm a longtime user of ZocDoc even before they were a sponsor of this channel. ZocDoc is a free app and website that helps you find and book high-quality in-network doctors so you can find someone you love. You could see your doctor in person or you could schedule a virtual visit, and the best part about it is that you don't have to play phone tag and you don't have to navigate those complicated robot menus. And don't even get me started on insurance because ZocDoc makes sure that your provider takes your insurance beforehand so that you don't have to show up at the office and then spend 20 minutes on the phone with your insurance company trying to see if the visit gets covered. That's a true story. It was really embarrassing. They're like, are you ready to be seen, Emily? And I said, I don't know. Depends if this is covered or not. Everyone on the internet has an opinion on something, but on ZocDoc, this is actually a good thing because you can read verified patient reviews to help you find a doctor that everybody loves. Stop putting off those doctor appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/Emily Hopkins to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/Emily Hopkins. This message is sponsored by ZocDoc. And if you watched a video from Angine de Poitrine and you didn't understand it and maybe you thought it was a little stupid, that's totally okay because obviously they're not everyone's cup of tea. But I would encourage you to try to understand why it's resonating with so many people because having an open mind can help you appreciate things. Let me give you an example, okay? When I was younger, I went to see Walter de Maria's The Earth Room in New York City. It's basically exactly what it sounds like. It's just this huge room in the middle of New York City that's filled with dirt. You go in there and it's silent and there's no instructions, no message, no nothing. You just stand there behind like this wall of glass that's filled with dirt and you just experience this room. There's a guy who works there whose job it is to like watch all the visitors, and I felt so bad because I thought this was the stupidest thing in the world, and I started laughing because it's dirt. You know, I didn't take it seriously because I just thought it was ridiculous. So I left that Earth Room laughing, and I had to write a paper about what it meant to me, and I just made stuff up because at the time it didn't mean anything. And then the weird thing is that years later, I revisited the Earth Room, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. Sometimes art hits you in weird ways at different times in your life, and sometimes the act of questioning things becomes part of the experience itself. Even if you don't like something, I think it's important to think about it for a while, let it bounce around in your head, and have an opinion about it. I think the worst thing you can do is be indifferent about something. Oh, don't know what Angine de Poitrine is? Do a little search. Check it out and see if you like it. If you don't, that's cool. If you do, that's cool too. There's tons of art that people don't like, but it's still important. You ever hear of Piss Christ?
Oh my god.
You know, the first time I listened to Angine de Poitrine's music, I was like, what the hell is this? I didn't understand it. And then
I hated it.
You hated it?
Yeah, I hated it.
The barrier to entry for weird music is usually way higher than most people think. If you just label something as experimental, microtonal, or avant-garde, most people are already gone. They've decided it's not for them before they've even heard a single note. But if you take that same music and wrap it in something visually interesting, confusing, or funny, it suddenly becomes approachable. And I feel like people underestimate how important that is. You can even see it in the way that people talk about them because there's this constant attempt to decode what they're doing. Like if you take away the masks, the mystery, and the aesthetics, you'll finally get to the real thing underneath. Everyone's like, oh, what does it all mean? What's a triangle mean? The confusion is the thing. The masks are the thing. I also have to admit something else.
What?
I listen to Angine de Poitrine on Spotify without the visuals. It doesn't hit as hard.
Really?
Yeah, I'm really embarrassed to admit that. It's not the same when you just listen to it without looking at them. But the visuals add to the music. I don't think that's bad. The fact that people don't immediately know how to categorize this is what makes them engage with it differently. And I think that's where a lot of the criticism kind of misses what's actually happening. Because even if you think the music isn't groundbreaking, even if you think those ideas have been done before, they've still managed to get a massive audience to interact with those ideas. And honestly, I think a lot of musicians could learn from that. Not in a wear mask and go viral way, but understanding how you present your music changes who's willing to listen to it in the first place. Because there are thousands of people making equally, if not more, interesting and strange music right now, and nobody's talking about them. I saw a guy light his dick on fire once. On stage. I saw a guy light his dick on fire. And that's kind of the uncomfortable part of this whole conversation. It's way easier to critique the people who do break through than to ask why everyone else didn't. Because once you start thinking about it like that, it stops being about whether this duo deserves all the attention and starts being about how attention works at all. Why did this particular combination of sounds, of visuals, and mystery manage to cut through when so many other things didn't? I don't think the answer is as cynical as many people would like to believe. I think they made something that people felt compelled to check out, and then they gave them something just unfamiliar enough to keep them there. Even if a small percentage of people come out of it more open to sounds that they would have ignored before, it's a net positive. And that's how things that are niche stop being niche. It's how somebody ends up picking up something like a harp or starts getting into microtonal music. It usually doesn't start with the pure version of the thing. It starts with something a little strange that pulls you in. And that's okay because you wouldn't have found it otherwise. So if you're weird, be weird and it'll probably help you. Make the music that not a lot of people seem interested in and dress up as the character that you want to dress up as. Do the things that people say, oh, that's not going to make you money. Are you afraid? Do it anyway. Keep going and be weird. We like weird. Unless you're bad. Because then you're going to be weird and bad. So maybe work on getting a little better first.